Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Crypto Tips. My name is Toby.
My name is Heidi.
And today we are going to be talking about some really interesting topics, currency collapses. Also, we are talking about AVE, AXS Infinity, just online gaming and stuff, and looking at some potentially incredibly undervalued coins that I've got my eye on. So, yeah.
Let the speculation begin.
I know.
Okay, so thank you everyone who participated in sending our questions. These are coming from our Patreon members in the CT Club. If you'd like to check that out, it's down below in the video description. How to join the CT Club, patreon.com/cryptotips. Anyway, these are their questions, so let's get into it.
Sure.
My husband and I are looking to retire in about 15 years' time, and we're just wondering, with all the talk about the eventual collapse of the fiat currency due to printing, would you advise anyone to convert their retirement funds into Bitcoin? We know that diversity is key, but we're just curious if you still hold any mutual funds, trust, stocks, etc. I mean, first I have to say this, we're not going to advise that you do any of these things. No. You know your appetite for risk, and you are responsible for what you're doing with your money.
But we've lived it, so let's say what
we can say what we've done, which is exactly what we do with this.
All right, so I got rid of it. I get rid of all my stocks, mutual fund, anything tied to pretty much a third party, other than some real estate that we own. But
we own it.
But we own it. I got rid of 401k. I even cashed in my life insurance policy earlier on. So I wanted nothing to do with any of those traditional financial tools or assets. And there's a reason for that. It's because Bitcoin is the hardest asset in the history of the world. You can't print more Bitcoin. You can't. Go ahead, try. You can't. All right. So you can mine it, but that also, is linked to the law of diminishing returns. So that's why you had at the beginning of this space, you had Bitcoin being mined on little tiny computers. Now you have to have giant mining farms that use crazy amounts of space to try to mine, blocks. And every 4 years that gets almost 50% harder. So that's kind of what I want. And regardless of how much demand is out there, the supply will always stay the same. Mm-hmm. And we know exactly every moment of every day how much supply is out there and how much will be out tomorrow, next month, next year. Tell me another asset that has that, please. I don't know anything. Gold, silver, no, I'm sorry, doesn't have that. It is, and you can transfer it around the world. Mm-hmm. So with that said, I cashed out everything, and I didn't regret it at all, because back then Bitcoin was pretty much $100, $70. And, I couldn't imagine holding on to my life insurance policy and not having Bitcoin, like putting everything into it. And it paid off really well. Yeah. I knew this was going to happen because I understand scarcity. Money is one of the main components of money is scarcity. And, being able to push a button and create unlimited supply of money or whatever, or even stock certificates, it turns me off, especially like Wall Street completely owning it. I just don't want it, I'm over it. I want to own something. I want to have those keys in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From your cold
dead hands. Yeah.
No, just kidding. From your cold wallet storage.
Yeah. So with every single currency that has been out there, it's collapsed in the past. So I think, what is it? The pound is the longest standing currency. Mm-hmm. I forgot how many years or whatever, but they all collapse eventually. It's because governments central banks get out of control and they print to oblivion, and they try to print their way out of trouble. And it happens every time. Just look at the U.S. government. The national debt. What you are able to see is at $28 trillion, That's not including unfunded liabilities and derivatives, which are probably into the, could be hundreds of trillions, literally. Yeah, we don't even know. There's been so much currency being printed. So yeah, why would you want to hold something like that? Like that's even tied to that, where you can get a hard asset like Bitcoin and they can't print it at all. I don't know. It's a very clear answer.
Yeah. Next question. What are some good resources for business owners implementing the acceptance of crypto as a form of payment? First of all, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you're going to be accepting crypto and contributing to the growing, the growth of cryptocurrency in everyday life. And I think you're going to really appreciate this decision that you're making in the long term as an investment wise.
For sure.
That's a really easy way to stack sats. But so here's some things at least that you can consider and make decisions on based what will work best for you. Which cryptos will you accept? You're probably going to look for easy, fast transactions. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash is actually a very popular option there for, again, the speed and the cheapness of the transactions. But depending on what your business is and probably the typical level of transactions that are happening, if it's a larger transaction, maybe something settling in Bitcoin or Ethereum makes sense. If it's like, really, really small transactions, maybe something like Bitcoin Cash or Solana.
Yeah.
Be one of those cool guys accepting Solana early on.
I just did a couple transactions on Solana and it was...
Knocked the socks off.
I was like, wow, that was fast. Congrats our Patreon members for getting into that earlier.
Yeah. Next thing you should consider is your point of sale way of accepting cryptocurrency. Basically, are you going to be working with mobile wallets? Probably. You're going to need some point of sale device that will generate a QR code for someone who is making that purchase. They can then scan that with their phone and make the transaction that way. You're going to need to pay attention to things like how are you storing your coins? You're probably going to have a balance between a hot wallet and a cold wallet. So cold storage, obviously, Ledger hardware wallets are my go-to. Super secure, very user-friendly. And right from Ledger Live, you can stake those coins as well and earn passive income. I actually just did a video talking... I'll cut up here. I actually just did a video talking about the new update for Ledger Live and the new things that they're building, which is pretty cool. If you don't have a Ledger hardware wallet yet,
check us out below.
There's an affiliate link down below.
Channel.
Yeah.
We have a link.
Yeah. And soon to come, it's going to come with a discount. So I'll keep you posted on that, but not yet, I don't think. Next thing you should pay attention to is where is your business located and how do they treat cryptos as income for business? Maybe that's going to determine where, if you haven't launched your business yet, but you'd like to and you'd like to accept crypto, maybe that can be a factor determining where you're located. Maybe, say if you're even in New York or Hawaii or somewhere kind of notorious for being anti-cryptocurrency, if you're in the US, maybe you're not going to even be able to accept crypto and use it as a form of payment for your business. Next question we have, any crypto-friendly charities you can advise on? There's one in particular. It's kind of like a charity hub. It's called Giveth, Giveth. It's run by Griff Green, who, if you don't know who that is, and you feel like this place is just full of hackers and scammers and people, Griff Green is a really cool guy who's contributed a bunch to this cryptocurrency space, especially with Ethereum. I was first introduced to him during the DAO hack when that happened on Ethereum in 2016. He was helping people recover their coins and claim their coins rightfully owed to them, and he was a huge help. He was a white hat hacker, so whenever something gets hacked, he helps to hack them back and get the coins back.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got this thing called Giveth where you can donate cryptocurrency to different platforms that are displayed on that place. Or if you have a charity and you'd like to work with cryptocurrencies and to provide transparency to those who are donating to what you're doing with it, you can submit your idea to Giveth as well and be advertised there too. So I'll provide a link to that down below in the video description.
And you know what we've actually done is we go to third world countries a lot. And a lot of these people that we know don't have bank accounts. And so, you know, I have the foresight enough to go to know that eventually they will be able to transact with Bitcoin pretty freely, I think. Even though nations may say, oh, we're banning it, we're banning this, we're banning that. Yeah, no, they're not. And so with that said, if you can like give them essentially, like for instance, like give them $100 in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then say, hey, here's the private key and here's your public key. Keep it. Keep it for about 10 years from now. And then you might be able to retire off that, you know, and then by that time you'll be able to go ahead, they will be able to go ahead and to walk around somewhere and send it to somebody, maybe for a house, maybe for, you know, whatever they need, a farm or something like that. Like this is where you're banking somebody right there. You're essentially giving them the most epic retirement fund they could have ever asked for. I remember giving away 0.1 Bitcoin one time, you know, just to a friend. And, you know, this was back, you know, 2014 or whatever. It wasn't very much, a couple bucks or whatever. And man, think of it now. It's over $3,000, $4,000 right now. And, you know, like, obviously he spent it on food, but imagine this is where the space is headed. We are going to be, this price at $30,000 is a joke. Absolute joke. It's a steal right now, I think. Yeah, it could go down to 20. Who cares? What do you care when it's going to be, you know, $1 million within, you know, 5 or 10 years from now, or easy 5 or 10 years from now? So you're not going to, you're going to be laughing that you bought, you actually had another chance.
You're going to be bragging.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be considered a complete badass for buying Bitcoin, and you know, people are going to, you know, your family's going to be pretty happy about that. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I could go on and on about it, but I see where it's headed.
Okay, last question here. After having 50% of my portfolio in Bitcoin and Ethereum and 25% in Cardano, Polygon, Solana, and Binance, how would you spend the remaining 25% on speculative plays? So far, I'm a big fan of VeChain, but what other projects do you suggest? So crazy. VeChain is like all over the place. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Real quick,
it's got a good community. You know, it's a network effect. There you go.
It's got that going for it. Yeah. Okay. But just I also want to make a note here. If you go to our portfolio updates, you'll notice the percentages that we've allocated toward our secure, solid, long-term holds compared to those who we're speculating on. It's not 25%. It's a much smaller percentage for us. We're pretty conservative, but if you want to do it this way, 25% on speculative plays. For me, I mean, these aren't really speculative, but these aren't coins that you currently have, and those are privacy coins. Specifically, something like Monero or Zcash would be, I think, a good choice. I think those will prove to just be really useful. Not really speculative, again, just for their utility of it. Could be good. Monero, I think, being the better option. But other speculative plays.
Yeah, so like FTT.
Yeah. A growing exchange could be rivaling Binance. That could be a really good investment. Yep,
and also AXS Infinity. That could be a huge play. You know, I've mentioned that to my Patreon members, our Patreon members, that hey, I bought, you know, at a certain price, and you know, like within a half a day.
Yeah, it was going crazy that day.
It was like 20%.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, hey, listen, I'm taking out my initial investment, and I'm let the rest ride. And went to like $28. Now it's like, I don't know, 20 or something like that. But also, you know, the NFT plays and the gaming plays is kind of where I see like giant amounts of money.
It's pretty trendy.
It's trendy, but I think this trend is going to continue. Because I know I have a lot of gaming friends, and like Ave Gachi, I mean, geez, you know, 40. Let me think here. Okay, so this thing has 40 42 million supply, and the I think the market cap is around 40 million or whatever. So incredibly undervalued, I think. I think if it blows up, if it's anything like we've seen before, this could definitely be couple $1 billion market cap, you know, and so I'm gonna play it, you know, and then you can also stake it as well and make money on top of that. But the big giant warning here is Bitcoin is going to determine kind of where these coins head in the short term, obviously, because in the long term I see Bitcoin skyrocketing much higher. But just keep that in mind. Like, don't go all in, obviously, because you know who knows where we go. We could dip further, but that's where you dollar cost average.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And maybe some other coins to think of are something like Sushi Swap or Trust Swap. These are both attached to decentralized exchanges. So, you know, if what's happening with Binance is kind of a systemic thing that's going to be happening to most centralized exchanges because they are centralized, there might be a huge interest and push for decentralized exchanges.
Yeah.
Sushi Swap's got plans for a lot of cross-chain trades, so they're hopefully will be functioning outside of just the Ethereum ecosystem soon. TrustSwap is the decentralized exchange on on Polygon, which is a cross-chain or second layer solution for Ethereum. So again, cutting out on those fees and lending itself to the huge network effect that Ethereum has. I think these could be definitely growing in the future as well, but time will tell. So again, speculating, right? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if these are going to be long-term coins.
Nobody does.
So
nobody does.
Have fun.
Yeah.
But maybe the privacy coins are slightly less speculative because they got such a use case.
Pirate Chain and Monero.
Pirate Chain, I don't know about that one yet. But Monero, yeah, for sure. Okay, anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today's AMA session. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you enjoy these, if you find them entertaining or hopefully educational at least, we appreciate it if you hit the like button. And if you're new, please hit subscribe with a bell notification turned on to get more videos like this coming out every day.
Yeah, and check out Heidi's newsletter.
Every
free
Sunday.
Newsletter on learningcrypto.com.
Yeah.
And stay disobedient. Don't follow the sheep. See you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.